Hello, everybody. Welcome to we changed our name. I know we're very early in this podcast, but I think the All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast doesn't sound as good as our new name, which is the Atlanta Teens Sports Center. And I'm here on our very first Atlanta Falcons episode, along with my co-host Matthew Tyndall. I'm Blake Newsom. And yeah, let's go ahead and start the show. So basically, our topics today will be the offseason moves that have made so far, what they could still target before free agency ends, the draft, next season schedule and detail, and rumors. So, anything you'd like to say, Matthew?
No. Let's get started with this.
All right, so we'll just jump ahead and go into the free agency. The Falcons are making moves this year. The signing of Terry Poe. I mean, they have lost some people this year with the loss of Audric Robinson, Patrick DeMarco, I think I already said, sorry, Eric Weems, who was our only kick returner, but some weak spots that the Falcons could pull up, as we were talking about before the show, is Chris Chester retiring. They did get a signing, but who do you think the Falcons should target in the draft first round, Matthew?
Well, with the loss of Paul Willow, and I think we should target TJ Watt, because, family, he's also, brothers with JJ Watt, but he's a very good linebacker and end from Wisconsin, and I think that with the loss of Paul Willow, we can fill that position of need.
You heard it there. I also believe, I heard from Credit to 92.9 The Game that even if you see you have some depth at running back with Tevin Coleman getting injured, which he has before in his past career, and with not much depth there. I mean, Tevon Ward you can rely on, but I don't know if you want to trust him as your backup running back. Always try to bring in another running back in free agency, maybe test him out after the draft. And then there's also tight ends out there with the loss of... did we ever sign Jacob Tamme back?
I'm pretty sure we did. I have not heard of anything of him being released or gone in free agency.
I mean, I guess if that'd be a different story if we didn't, because we do have some depth at tight end with some in the practice squad, and then with tight ends, Hooper, Tamme, and Toilolo. But yeah, I agree. We definitely need a right guard. Probably another linebacker with Sean Weatherspoon and Deion Jones. We did lose Warlow, as Matthew said, but I don't think really a veteran and a rookie would be able to be the only person that'd be able to fill the hole. So TJ Watt, I agree, but what position do you think the Falcons should go after second round?
Definitely right guard, because even though we just had the signing from the Colts of their right guard, we still need to go after someone of that position just to see if, who can play better at that position. We could get really any offensive linemen and just move them to right guard.
And another thing that pulled up about another Credit to 92.9 The Game is we saw Dan Quinn pulling in a lot of players from the offseason, not on the offseason, but during the season, from free agency, just trying to get competition going, trying to get the players fired up, trying to get everybody knowing each other, making chemistry. But as you said, that keeps getting another right guard also helps get depth there, but it also keeps competition going and the team flowing better. So I definitely agree there. Who do you think has been the biggest signing for the Falcons this offseason? I believe it's Terry Poe, but do you have any other beliefs?
No, I agree with you fully, because we had one of the worst run defense in the league. And with the help of Terry Poe, that we will plug up the middle with that, and we'll be set to go for this next season.
If we were to sign somebody else that was be good right next to him, who would you say would be a good addition right near Terry Poe in the run stopping?
I don't think we really need any defensive linemen, because we also have Vic Beasley controlling the outside. That's and Grady Jarrett helping Terry Poe.
And that'd be this team could end up being. A lot of people are saying that this could be a top 5 defense that would be really nasty to face the next few years, and I believe it with Brian Poole and Keanu Neal, who he picked up from Florida, and then you have Desmond Trufant coming back. You could probably move Robert Alford to nickel. Jalen Collins can move up, slide to the second cornerback position. Then you have Grady Jarrett and Vic Beasley, Deion Jones, a bunch of good players out there that are really young, with the addition of Sean Weatherspoon, who can help mentor the defense. But yeah, this team looks really good for years to come. They did fall short in the Super Bowl 51, which I'm sure everybody's sick of hearing. But, I mean, next year's another year. And
yes, it is.
do you, what games do you think looks toughest? I've seen the Falcons have a really tough schedule next year, or one of the tougher schedules next year again. What games do you think look the toughest for the Falcons on their schedule?
I would like to say the Patriots, but the thing is, I feel that we can beat them. But the problem is, I noticed this because in the Super Bowl, the Patriots did what the Eagles did to us, in which they held their defense out on the field, made them get tired,
Yes.
and kept their offense off. So, but I feel that if we can balance that out, then we'll be set to go and beat basically any team that stands in their way, because we definitely have the potential. We just need to embrace it.
And you definitely know that people are most likely going to be against us here for quite a while for that game. I think it's week 6 it should be. It's sometime during next year about when we go up to New England, but there's also rumors going around that they could move it up to the week 1 on primetime TV for Thursday night, just like they did with Denver and Carolina last year. And how do you think Falcons fans will react to that?
I don't think they'd be too happy, because we would just be getting in rookies and to help with us. And then with the fall of the Super Bowl, Falcon fans would like us to have a little bit more experience with other games and worse teams, I guess, in the league.
Yeah.
And that's why I would like us to have like a tougher schedule at the end of the season, so everybody can have the experience. But I know I wouldn't like it that much.
I know I wouldn't either, especially with the Super Bowl still in your head and having to play them right away again, start the next year. That would be terrible. And also you have not the easiest schedule to start the year, because I don't think Carolina, even though Carolina wasn't as good the year last year, I really don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year. I think they're a better team, not with any signings or anything, but I just think they'll have the anger to not play as bad. Then you got Dallas week 3, Green Bay week 4, Minnesota week 6, and then you got Drew Brees coming to town week 7, who always gives you trouble, no matter what the team is. But then you also have games like going to the Jets and going to Buffalo comes to town. So Miami comes to town. I'm trying to set some of the schedule. This schedule is like neutral with top teams and teams that aren't really in the pack. Do you have any other games to spotlight out there about what the Falcons should plan for? Like, we go to Seattle week 16 of the year, the second to last game. And with the Falcons losing there last year, do you think they'll have anything in mind for revenge, even though they did beat them in the playoffs?
Sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
Do you think the Falcons will have any revenge in mind for, even though they beat them in the playoffs last year? Because the Falcons travel to Seattle next year. Do you think they'll have revenge in their mind to beat them in the regular season?
I don't think it's so much as revenge. It's just a will to win. And like I said, I was watching one of Julio's conferences, and he said it's not a manage of revenge. It's just a manage of wanting to win. And if you have the will enough to win, then play your hardest. You probably will get that win.
Then you see Green Bay, who comes to town again next year. After we beat them twice last year, do you think it'll be the same story for the Falcons, or do you think Aaron Rodgers will have the same will to win as you just said? and this might be a tougher game for the Falcons this year as it was the last 2 games last year.
Well, there's always something about teams. Like, you could even say San Francisco, if we had them in our schedule, that'd be a threat. But because of talent that they're coming in, but with Aaron Rodgers, you can never count him out.
That's true.
Because he's just one of those great quarterbacks.
And even if we did have San Francisco on the schedule, that's a great example, because with us losing Kyle Shanahan, him going to San Francisco, that would be a threat, because he knows a lot of our game plan, and he's bringing it right to San Francisco to be ready for us. And we've had trouble with San Francisco the past few meetings. So yeah, and then also looks like the road games don't look too easy on the Falcons' hand. It's your traveling up to Carolina, traveling to Chicago, it's indoors, but traveling to the Rowdy fans of Detroit, traveling to Gillette Stadium in the winter, and then traveling in the Jets in the winter, also traveling to Seattle. This schedule doesn't really look too helpful in the Falcons' hands for the road games. This might be one of the harder road schedules in the league. Do you agree?
Yes, I do, but look at Pittsburgh, because they live in they are around a very cold area. But with, Ben Roethlisberger, you think the cold affects him at all? Because the way he plays in Pittsburgh in the winter, it's phenomenal. And I think that Matt Ryan and the team will have the same amount of confidence in weather conditions.
Moving away from the Falcons for a minute, I know this is a Falcons show, but another topic that's been blowing up late from yesterday's, Tony Romo deciding to leave football and pursuing a broadcast career with CBS. What are your thoughts on this, and what do you think made his decision not to sign with another team and decided to go straight to broadcasting?
To me, I think it's smart, because you know how many times he's been injured, and he just doesn't want to ruin his life because of injuries from football. So I would think it's smart that he's going away from football and playing it and just broadcasting it, because he still has a part to do with it, but just not playing the game.
And even with the injuries, he has a marvelous career. What a career. And people are still saluting him, or clapping for him, and wishing him a great retirement, even with the injury. So, Tony Romo, great player. We'll wish him the best in CBS, even though Phil Simms is getting taken over, but we'll see how it plays out. Now we have Troy Aikman on Fox and Tony Romo on CBS with the lead booth. But yeah, any other games to spotlight, or any other positions that the Falcons should spotlight as sleepers in the late rounds?
No, not really. I know that Dimitrov, our GM, had said that we basically have no holes on our team, and I believe him on that, because we just had such a great team, and all we need is experience, and we had, keep in mind, a young rookie defense, and they still managed to help us win or get to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. And as I said earlier, I'll name some of the names again, with 2 Gators, Brian Poole, Keanu Neal, and we'll also having many others like Jalen Collins, Deion Jones, second year, Vic Beasley now in his third, and yeah. So, well, because there hasn't been much news lately for the Falcons, looks like we're going to have to cut the show a little bit short, unless there's any other topics you want to pull up, Matthew?
No.
Well, thank you guys for listening. This is the Atlanta Teen Sports Center, or All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast, whatever you prefer us to call it. So thank you for joining me, Matthew, and we'll see you guys next time. Rise up.